Okay, so I had an emotional outburst. Can you see it? I think it's one of the hardest things, um, being committed to my healing. Um, okay, so there's an old wound that I knew about, and I did some work on it, but I was, I'm the one that's always trying to just be strong, basically. But I also know healing is important, and I'm fully committed to my healing. And that is why sometimes the universe will push me. And I got pushed tonight. There was some old, stuck sadness that I needed to release, I guess. And the way they pushed me was the girlfriend gave me a hair dye, and I decided, well, I had already decided I was going to go back to bangs. So, but she had given me a hair dye, so I decided to dye my hair, and while I was at it, I was going to go back to bangs. Well, little did I know, when I did all this, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I was literally thrown back to 20 plus years ago in a hurtful but loving situation. Okay? I allowed fear to control me back then. And when I looked in the mirror, I was like thrown back into a situation and house that I had lived in. And it's the same situation that I draw all my good energy from right now. But I also have the yin and the yang. There is a darkness to this energy as well. And I would be made to feel that today just by seeing myself back then. It was instant. It was an instant trigger. And it's healing that it needed to be done. And Spirit knew that the only way that it was going to happen was if there was some drastic measures taken, which is the whole, literally looked at myself and I was like, wow, I remember you. And I did. I literally remembered me in that situation. And it was something that had to be healed because I was afraid. And I refused to speak up because I was afraid. So I was living in fear. Fear is not of God, which means there was a wound at that point. And in that, I shut that down. Now, remember a couple days ago, I said if you don't let these emotions bubble up, they'll bubble up and bubble up until they bubble over. Well, that is literally what happened, and we've had a few decades of these feelings being stuffed down, and I refused to look at these feelings, did not want to revisit that until, and this may be why I've been a little more emotional right now, is because this was all divinely orchestrated, basically, that I would now at this point decide to do my hair like this. And it was just divinely, it was a divine inspiration to do this. I didn't plan to do my hair tonight and have it literally remind me of where I stood back then. And the day that I knew I had a lot of love and I was never going to speak about it because of fear. And that was stuffed, just stuffed until this past year or so. But today was the day that I would be guided to open that wound and fully feel that the only way you can heal it is if you feel it. You have to feel it to heal it. I always say that. And healing is not pretty. And being able to understand and not just have an emotional outburst. Be able to understand that this is part of the healing process. It's a godsend. It's also a lifelong project of myself that I've worked on. So, anybody who has a situation like this and has, gone through a lot, it's okay to cry. It's okay to not be okay. Don't hunker down and live there. You just you let it happen though, so that those feelings and those emotions can be released and the healing can start. Basically, I was never going to allow this wound to heal by not feeling it. So, my videos have been all over the place, really, but the healing ones are, I feel, very important. So, and I don't think it's okay just to come on and say, everything is great, because yes, everything is great. And I have I have structured myself to be 90% of the time great. But I couldn't have gotten there without these incidences, these things that had to happen to be able to heal the wounds from the past so I can move forward. It's really hard to move forward when you're holding on to the past. But I have a lot of love for that part of my past, and I used that feeling to help me stay high vibing. So I'm going through it right now, but it's all for the greater good. Like I said, healing is not pretty. People don't generally come on, I don't think, and be like, well, today was a disaster. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some people do, I guess. I don't know. I don't see those videos, but today wasn't a disaster. Today was a great day. But there was something that was being divinely orchestrated, because, like I said, the hair dye and wanting to cut the bangs has been two weeks now, at least, that I've been wanting to do that, and then I finally just did it. And then after I did it, I had a extreme emotional upheaval that was presented. But I can't heal those feelings unless I allow myself to feel. You gotta feel it to heal it. So anyways, I hope everybody's having a great night. And like I said, anybody else that's going through this, I'm sending you a mental hug. And love yourself. That's self-love. So I love you guys.